like when I walk into a room, it's no matter where I go, it's like, whoa. Like I'm uncommon. Yeah. One, because I'm 50 and then I'm just in such good shape, right? But
and how conceited you are.
I'm very conceited. I work hard. Hey, you're lucky if I come into that room with a shirt on. Like,
welcome back to another episode of the Rob and Cory Show. If you don't know, I'm Rob, and this is my co-host, Cory. And today we have a very special guest. Oh, you got something to say?
He just introduced me as his co-host.
Well, I mean, we are co-hosts, aren't we? Not, I mean, you know what
All
I'm
right,
saying.
go ahead, man.
Yeah, this is one of my hosts.
He's like, I'm Batman. This is my friend Robin over here.
This is my co-host, Cory, and today we have a special guest, a friend of mine for 35 plus years, an entrepreneur, a mentor, a personal trainer, amongst other things, and we introduced Charles Turner to the podcast today. Thanks for coming, Chuck.
thanks for having me.
All right, definitely.
Yeah. So
35 years. I feel like it's been like 40.
Well, okay. Where do we?
Man, how old are y'all, man?
It started at Wilder, right? West Side. The nursing home?
Yeah, at the nursing home.
Yeah,
that's right.
I was 16 when I got that job.
Okay.
Yeah, 30. Yeah,
I guess so.
the 30s. Yeah. 30 plus. So, yeah. You was upstairs. I was downstairs.
Yeah.
I was in the kitchen. You was what was you?
Aide, a nursing assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that job was.
Humboldt and Robbie.
What's that?
That was on Humboldt and Robbie Street.
Yep.
Wilder Healthcare Center.
Yep.
Dude, a nursing assistant is not the gig that I'd want, man. That's like all the dirtiest, like, of the nursing position, right?
Yeah.
You're like out there getting bedpans and whatnot.
Yeah. But when you get out of high school, if you don't have a plan and that's and you need to make some money, that was the job to have. I mean, yeah, I did it. I don't know. I probably did that for about 5 years, and then it was. That's when I realized it was time to get some more education.
You was there for 5 years?
I was at Bethel Healthcare for a number of years before that.
Okay.
And then I tried to get out of there and find a different facility and found that Wilder.
Okay.
And then, started working there. But I was probably at Wilder for probably, 6 months or something like that.
That's it?
It may have been a year, but
okay.
I was making my way out of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I remember bringing the food trays up to those floors, man. It was, I was 16, so I'm not knowing what Parkinson or Lou Gehrig's or dementia is. So I got this big metal box I'm pushing on wheels with a bunch of trays in it, and I'm coming up to the floor. The elevator opens up, and then you got somebody sitting there in a wheelchair, and they're saying racial slurs at you. I'm like, you're 80 years old. You can get away with this? And then you got somebody running past.
You got one dude to introduce himself to you every day, like he never met you. You're like, man, what's going on?
Then you got people coming down the hallway with big bruises, and I'm like, are they beating these people up here? And I'm not knowing that, come to find out later that if you don't turn them over, then they bruise easily, when they're sleeping. So it was just a whole new learning experience for me, and so.
So it sounds like, Chuck, you've been involved with health or medical related things your whole life then.
Yeah. It just dawned on me talking or reminiscing about that's probably one of the reasons why I've tried to stay or really take care of my body, because you would see the results of some of those diseases at the end of life, but you would also see neglect.
Yeah.
People not taking care of themselves, and how, smoking cigarettes for years and years, or never ever exercising or working certain jobs, or not really pouring in the family, and just ending up at the end of life alone and broken and, like 55. Like whoa.
Yeah.
I just went on 2 weekend vacations with my family. The first one was to Wisconsin Dells, which is like the water park capital of the world.
Yes, it is.
The second one was to like a little resort on Gull Lake, which is northern Minnesota.
Okay.
But on both of those vacations, I noticed, because there's a lot of people running around swimming and stuff, that everybody's fat. Like 90% of people are fat. For real.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an offensive way to say it. But there's a lot of overweight, a lot of out of shape people. And some people some people don't care. I'd say most people, it seems like they don't care. And so I don't really understand the mindset behind that. What's the mindset behind that? People 50, 60 years old, completely overweight, crushing the beer on the beach, just not caring. Is it I'm married now, it don't matter? Is it I'm stressed out at work, so this is my alternative. This is my only way to unwind. You know what I mean?
It could be all of the above, and I don't know. I guess maybe the new narrative of you're heavy but you're healthy kind of deal. So
you're saying Lizzo did this to us?
Yeah. Well, I am not saying Lizzo did.
Man, damn Sports Illustrated did this to us, didn't it?
In the camera said, it wasn't me.
No, but there is a narrative.
The big and beautiful narrative.
That you can be big and still be healthy, and people shouldn't judge you, and all these things, and.
There is people out there that deal with certain medical conditions. It's harder for them to lose weight.
Yeah.
Like that is, we know that, right?
Right.
But there's also a lot of people out there that lean on that as a crutch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to do this, and we'll talk about this, but I'm about to do this lifestyle program or challenge that's 75 hard, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm realizing about it is the biggest thing is the logistics around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it pretty much puts you in a position to where you have to be spending a large portion of your day figuring out how to be active and eat and take in the nutrients that you want. Most people don't do that. Most people spend 10 minutes.
I sat down.
A day.
I sat down with a friend of mine because she asked me to help her dial in her macros, and she was drinking like a couple cups of coffee creamer a day, dude. Like when I was doing the math. And I was like, dang, like she's taking a lot of fat just from coffee.
Right.
You know, when there's alternatives there that you could probably be just as satiated, with some of the alternatives and skip out on 1,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I really want to get into the movement labs and all the different things that are involved with that. But let's talk about 75 hard for a second, because a lot of people don't know what 75 hard is. I've actually completed it myself.
Yeah.
And so I went through it, and I went from about 217 pounds down to 182 pounds by the end of it.
Okay, so is that why you did it, to change body composition, or what?
So I did it. I started out doing it. I did do it for that reason. I felt like I was getting a little soft, but I didn't expect to change that dramatically, because what I started doing was like every week I started doing it like a body fat measurement. Okay. And so I wanted to try to maintain.
Or like.
I was doing the what's it called, where you get on the machine and you.
The electroimpedance.
Yeah, so I was doing that, and so I could see that I wasn't losing muscle. So then I was going, okay, well, how thin do I got to get to be like under? I was trying to get under 10% body fat for the first time since I was younger. Because a lot of people, when we're younger, and I don't know how old you are, I'm 40 years old. So when I was younger,
53 in 2 days.
Man, you look great for 53.
Happy early birthday, Chuck.
Thank you.
When I was younger, it was real easy to register under 10% body fat, but I'm not sure that the technology was correct, because now you get on one of those machines, it's measuring your visceral fat and everything else too, like your internal fat inside your organs and everything else. So it's actually really difficult to get below 10%.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to try to hit 10% or less. And I just kept dropping weight to get there. I was like, let's see how low I got to go to hit this. You know what I mean? And I ended up being, I think I got down to 8% body fat, and I was 182 pounds.
How'd you feel?
I felt great, but when I look back at all the content I created at that time, I looked really skinny. I did, dude. My shirts are all baggy and everything else. Okay. I loved how I felt, though, to be honest with you. In hindsight, I didn't do it the best way, because I took down a lot of supplements. So a lot of sucralose and stuff like that they have in like the protein shakes and the protein bars and stuff like that. I was taking in a lot of that. So I was probably eating like 2 to 3 actual meals, and anything else I took in was like a shake or a bar every single day. You know what I mean? And so sometimes I'd skip a meal and take in a bar as like a replacement. You know what I mean? So I was taking in, but I was counting calories and everything else.
Okay.
So let's go over the what the 75 hard, like what the tasks are in 75 hard.
Yeah.
Just for the people that don't know.
Yeah. Well, first off, it lasts for 75 days.
75 days.
Right. Which is, what's that? 2.5 months?
2.5 months.
Yeah. So that's the first thing.
But now that I completed it, I know I'm only 2.5 months away from shredding if I want to. It's like, what do I got on the calendar? I'm only 2.5 months away from shredding if I need to. You know what I mean? If I want to do that again.
Yeah.
And
my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
So let's go over this.
So 75 days, right? And then no drinking alcohol. So no alcohol consumption in that 75 days.
Yep.
You have to do or complete 2 45-minute workouts a day.
Yep.
One has to be outside, right? And you can't be like in a garage with the door open. You got to be outside with it.
Yep.
The other is, when you say no alcohol, the exercises, you got to read 10 pages of an actual book, nonfiction, a day. And then you have to take a progress picture every day.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you have to follow a diet. Now, it doesn't have to be like keto but whatever diet that you decide to do, you have to follow that diet. Yep. You can't deviate. No cheat meals, no nothing for the 75 days.
Yeah.
How many times have you done it?
I only did it the one time, and so I'll be honest with you. I didn't complete it. They say only 18% of people can complete it. Truly, I didn't because I didn't. So the reason why I brought the book, I got the 75 Hard book here, is because I didn't read the book before I did it.
Okay.
And so what I did is I started doing it, and I read the book I started reading the book at this is the second book I read, so it probably took me about 2 weeks or whatever.
In life or?
No, second book in the program. In the program.
Wait a minute. What did you do this?
Because you start out reading 10 pages a day, right? So I started out with a different book, and then and this book was on back order, so I waited for it to come. It took forever. It got here. I started reading it, and my wife started doing 75 hours. She said, "Cory, you're gonna be pissed when you start reading this book because you're gonna feel like you need to start over." And I was like, why is that? She's like, because technically you haven't done everything correctly. So the part that I missed is I didn't do the progress picture every day. Okay. So I didn't do the progress picture every day, which is a huge mistake. You're supposed to do the progress picture every day. And he actually references if you miss a day of taking pictures, you start over. The second thing I did wrong is I did 2 45-minute workouts a day.
Back to back.
I wasn't doing them back to back, but I wasn't doing one outdoor for the first 30 days. So the first 30 days I did 2 a day. And I did both of them indoor. And it was cold outside when I was doing it. And so what I didn't realize was, and this is the page, I was looking actually for a passage in the book before we started the podcast, because in the book he says, if you try to do both of your workouts, and this is why she knew I was going to get pissed because I'm real particular, almost OCD about stuff. He said, if you try to do both of your workouts indoor, you're not doing 75 hard. You're doing 75. I'm a bitch. Ooh. And there's a whole and
you didn't do it over.
And so what I did was that day 30 I cut over. So the last 45 days I did it outdoor and indoor. And there was one day where it was friggin' storming, dude. I don't know.
That's like the day you called me.
So we've all had thunderstorms our whole life. You don't think nothing of it. You see the lightning, whatever. I was outside running in a damn, like a ridiculous thunderstorm, like the one that you can't see. You got to pull over your car. I couldn't see. I had my eyes closed running. Every time I heard the crash of the thunder, I was like shrieking, like thinking like, dang, is this hitting me? Like it's terrifying when you're out there and something like that. And it's funny as I got back, so I was out there for 45 minutes and I get back and my wife is outside on the porch with a yoga mat and some weights and stuff. She's out there doing her workout on the porch in the rain too. You know what I mean? So it's like we were at that point, and she actually ended up doing the whole 75 days, 45 outdoor, 45 indoor. And the whole purpose of the outdoor workout, see, I thought it was, well, this is stupid, man. You can get 45 minutes anywhere. But the whole purpose of it, and he explains in the book, is that you're supposed to force yourself to do something you don't want to do. It's not even about the workout. It's about not wanting to go out there, and it doesn't matter what the elements are. And he talks about in the book, like on days where it's absolutely like there's no chance of him being able to get it done, he'll just take like his elliptical or his Peloton and drag it outside into the front yard and start doing it outside. Because whatever he does, he's going to be affected by the elements. He don't care.
Yeah. I have a Peloton, but I'm not dragging that puppy outside. But I have a Concept 2 rower.
Okay.
And so I'm going to start doing that for the second workout outside. And then as my leg gets better, running first off, just walking with my dog, and then part of doing that and then running with my dog. But I like that whole thing of being outside. I mean, think about it like this. It's all about mindset, right? So we as human beings, we got this wide range of temperatures that we can deal with, right? Because I don't know what your beliefs are, but I believe in evolution. I believe that we evolved to be where we're at right now. And the reasons why our bodies look the way that they look is because we evolved through a lot of struggle, meaning you could not be fat and not end up food for something else, right? You need to be able to get away, or you couldn't chase food.
I don't know, though, because if you were fat, you were one of the baddest around because you were killing everything to eat it.
Yeah. But if something came around to try to get you, you know what I'm saying? You might be in trouble, right? But let me back up. I kind of got lost there. But just in terms of like the temperature thing, right? So we didn't have air conditioning back then. We didn't have heat back then, with the exception of fire. So we would have to deal with
the elements,
right? But now you fast forward to today, and like we keep everything to about 75 degrees. We keep everything, 75 to 60 degrees in the winter and in the summer. So as soon as we step outside the house, before we can get into the car, the elements hit us, and it's like a shock. Like, we can't even handle it. But we're
weak.
But if you spent more time out in the elements, you going from the car or your house to the car, you wouldn't even feel that. Or if your wife yelled at you, you wouldn't even feel that. Like, not like we do now, because we're so protected with how we feel. We protect our comfort.
It's funny because my dad, he runs marathons and stuff. He's like about 75 years old, but he got those toe shoes because he was like, man, shoes are making you weak, man. He's like, too much support.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't want that. You walk around barefoot. They didn't have shoes back in the day.
Yeah, grounding outside.
Yeah.
Or walking around barefoot.
Yeah. And I would say that you would want to do it on grass and dirt, though, because, our feet were not strong to walk on concrete.
Yeah.
You're going to run on concrete. I think you need to get some shoes.
So
especially if you don't have good technique in terms of running.
Yeah. So earlier you said when your leg gets better, you'll be doing the run. So what happened to your leg?
Oh, at the beginning of the summer, I ruptured my Achilles tendon.
Yeah. That injury seems terrible.
And I'm, in the best shape of my life, I ruptured my Achilles tendon. A client of mine threw a party for her husband, who I had also trained in the past. And the first part of the party was at a gym to play basketball, because he plays basketball all the time and really loves it. And his son plays semi-pro overseas, and he was home. And so they invited me, and I came. And I'm older. I'm 52, right? But I'm in good shape. I'm doing this class 3 times a week.
Shape.
I'm jumping rope. I'm doing all this stuff. And I'm like, and I'm even playing basketball a little bit, but not as much as normal. And so I am out there, and it's effortless. So, and I told myself, okay, when I get in here, I'm going to run up and down the court a couple times, just see how it feels. If something doesn't feel right, I'm going to shut it down, just because I knew better. But, man, I got out there. It was effortless. I was having a good time. And then the dude's son started turning it up. Right?
The competitive juices start flowing.
And so he brought a friend that was on my team. So when his son started turning it up, then the other dude started turning it up. And then so the birthday boy started turning up. And then I looked at the other dude. I'm like, all right, they're not just going to, and then we turned it up. And before I knew it, we were 3 games into it. And at the end of that 3rd game,
at the end,
pop.
Yeah, so you jumped and landed, right?
So I jumped and I landed, but I was going to jump back up, but I was losing my balance. So I took a step back, like a hard step back, so I could go right back up. And as soon as I stepped back, pop.
Yeah, every time I've ever seen it happen, it's on basketball court, man. So, but yeah.
So, but it's healing. I am 12 weeks out.
Okay.
I just got to get to 14. But I did, I'm doing my physical therapy and still working out and still doing my classes. Just ain't walking the dog yet.
But you can use that to your advantage because you did that before to the other leg, right?
Oh, yeah. 15 years ago, I did my right. Yeah. So
at least you had a blueprint to work off of, though.
Oh, yeah. But this time was a completely different experience. Just because I was in shape. Everything is better when you're in shape. That's one of the things that I've learned. And that's one of the things I say to everybody out there watching. Everything is better when you're in shape.
Everything's better when you're in shape.
Recovery.
Preaching to the choir.
Sleep. You know,
You're talking
sex,
about, hey, man, like 6 months out of the year, I'm not in shape, and 6 months of the year, I am. So I know.
Yeah.
And back to that point about, you were talking about how you don't know how people are getting fat. And me personally,
I know how they're getting fat.
Well,
I'm just saying it's surprising that everyone does it.
Well, I'm saying personally, I think it's marketing. They're putting stuff in the food. You need people to take pills. They need to make money. So, I think the government has a big part in that. And, people they're satisfying. They're settling. And, we got all these distractions in front of us. And like you said, we were in the elements before. So 20 years ago, there was no cell phones in front of your face. You weren't on all these apps. And
it wasn't so easy to eat all this high sugar food. The high
Yeah.
sugar food gives you the insulin spike.
Yep.
The insulin spike gives you diabetes. The diabetes makes you take more medication.
What do you see on TV? You see the fast food commercials. You don't see no
I seen this interesting
good stuff.
I seen this interesting interview where this guy said he thinks part of the issue is the marketing surrounding losing weight, because he said technically to lose weight you don't need to work out. Technically to lose weight you just got to manage your macros. And he said he recommends working out. Working out's good for you, but that's not the main part of losing weight. The main part of losing weight is regulating your macros. But they market that we should work out, because when you work out you require more calories, then you get hungrier, and then you eat more, and you eat more food that is being sold to you, and then you end up with an imbalance because a lot of food has sugar and artificial sweeteners and stuff like that, and then that throws off your chemicals in your body, and then you might need medication. So everybody's winning from the marketing surrounding losing weight, when in all actuality you can just tell people to eat less, and then no one's making any money, but you're still getting to the same end result. You know what I mean?
And then educating people on the instinctual piece of that, right? So way back when nature hid its nutrients in the taste of sweet and salt, right? So when we were eating, gathering, and we're getting this stuff, instinctually you want to gorge on it, because you didn't know when you were going to get it again. So you would just gorge, right? And then you go a few days without anything, and then you would lose the weight, and then you would come across some food, and then you would gorge. But now you fast forward to today, and we got those things at our fingertips. And not only do we got it at our fingertips, we got as much of it as you want. So that feeling of wanting to gorge is actually instinctual, but there's corporate interest people that have decided, well, we're going to make an industry around that.
Yeah, because everything's just easier to get now. So really, I mean, everything that used to be a task, now we can just snap our fingers and we got it. So it's easy to gorge. Now you got to have self-control.
Oh, you don't Amazon. You could do your Christmas shopping.
Dude, Amazon,
from
DoorDash,
that couch right
pornography
over
is another one, man, that people can indulge in.
You don't have to leave your house for nothing.
You don't have to leave your house.
You don't have to leave your couch.
I was going to say, remember when you had to get up to turn the TV?
And why even work out when you can just throw your VR headset on and create your avatar, and your avatar is going to be in shape either way.
Yeah. Have you played any of that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
They
man.
got that.
I got one.
sandbox?
I got two of them right behind you in the cupboard.
Oh, you got the Oculus?
Oh yeah, I got two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they got this thing out at one of the malls.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Sandbox VR.
Yeah, I hunted some zombies out there. Yeah. Hunted some zombies out there.
And my daughter's got one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's got. I think it's the Oculus. So
okay.
She don't use it that much no more though. So
yeah, but I think you said it. It's just that there's so many people that are overweight that it almost makes it kind of a non-issue. Like when I walk into a room, it's no matter where I go, it's like whoa, like I'm uncommon. Yeah. One, because I'm 50, and then I'm just in such good shape, right? But
and how conceited you are.
I'm very conceited. I work hard. Hey, you're lucky if I come into that room with a shirt on. Like maybe that's why they reacted to me.
Now you're talking my language, Chuck. No shirt.
So let's talk about this movement labs, man. This movement lab. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's a movement lab because he's got the movement lab shirt on right now. So sounds like this is the umbrella company to several small kind of ventures that you put together.
Oh yeah.
Got the movement lab T-shirt.
Right there.
The vintage one right there.
Yeah.
So the Movement Lab is a company. It's a personal training company, right? That's how it started. I needed a name. I I really sat back and thought about what fitness meant to me. Like, you know, one time a person asked me, what does fitness mean to you? Like, and I couldn't answer the question, even though I'm going, like, this is a second career for me. So I used to do mortgages. I was a mortgage broker for 13 years. I worked for Wells Fargo.
Okay.
I started off with a program called Construction to Perm Financing. So we would allow people to come in and buy land, and we would lend them money to buy that land, but we would lend them additional money based on the future value of that land, because we'd have to take a look at the floor plans, specifications, and contracts. Awesome program. Loved it. Moved around a lot, or not a lot, but a couple. I did some relocation mortgages. I did regular refinances, and anyway, really good money, but a really stressful job. It's sales, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm a real estate agent, so I understand.
I remember when you had that job.
Yeah. So I found myself, you know, literally skipping to my car on Fridays with my laptop because there was work for the weekend, right? And then, like, in my backyard with a fire late at night, drinking beer and not wanting to go to work, right? Like, I was just not wanting to do it. I mean, the money was great, and we had created a life where I needed to make that money, but I just hated the job, and it was killing me. It was killing me. And through a couple of discussions, I met with a career counselor, decided that, you know, to make a change. And so I changed to this. And so, again, I went back to that and didn't understand what fitness was for me. And what I came up with is that the gym should be a place where you learn about your body, right? So, like, you have a car. How long have you had your car?
A long time, dude. Since 2017. So I'm a frugal man. I don't buy a lot of vehicles.
Okay.
Man.
What kind of features do you have in that car? You got, like, power windows?
I got the power window. My seats massage. My seats massage me.
You got to load it, right?
You know what I mean? So, yeah, absolutely.
You got the winter package on. You got the heated seats and the heated steering wheel.
Then I hang on to it, though.
Okay. Yeah. All right. How about you? What features of your car?
Which one?
Oh,
no.
Okay.
This is where we're at.
Well, let's take the 1966 Oldsmobile. Everything's manual. You got to roll the windows down.
Yeah, let's throw a wrench in
roll
Chuck's analogy.
Roll the quarter window out. Unlock the trunk.
Well, now I'm gonna put you on the spot. Now
right.
I'm gonna start with you.
Right.
How many quadricep muscles do you have?
I would say 4.
That's a good guess, and it's 4, right?
All right, well, there you go.
How many tricep muscles do you have, Rob?
I'd say, from what I see in the mirror, at least 3.
Okay.
I think I got an extra one, but
okay.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. Well,
Strong
see,
arm.
you guys are uncommon when it comes to anatomy because most people don't know how many muscles they have in their legs. They don't know how many muscles they have in their triceps. They don't know how many muscles are in their biceps, or this is called a deltoid, or right? And so in my search for trying to figure out what fitness meant, fitness is education, right? You should know these things. How do you know more about a car that you've had for 5 years, but you don't know about a body that you've had for 20, right? So my calling, I think, was to help people get a six-pack, but B, teach them what the names of that six-pack is and why a six-pack would even be important and why a six-pack is kind of a byproduct of something that is going to do more for you than just the aesthetics piece of it. And so I came up with this movement and then the lab and just put them together. And it's like, yeah, I don't want to train you for the rest of your life, but when you do leave me, I want you to know more about your body and how it works and why this is important. Like, why do we do a squat, right? I mean, when you lose your ability to squat, you lose your ability to live independently. So that might change what your definition of a squat is, right?
No, absolutely.
I want double body weight. It's like, okay, are you doing it properly so that you can do it when you're 60? Because if you can't, all that double body weight stuff ain't gonna do you nothing if you need help to get off the toilet.
I'll tell you what, man, mobility for me at my age has become the main thing that I'm focused on right now. Because when you're younger, you just want to get buff, right? You're just trying to be strong. And then you get a little bit older and you're just trying to be sexy. Mm-hmm. And then you get a little bit older and you're just trying to move. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like, it seems like that's a natural progression. And I had an injury about 3.5 years ago on an electric skateboard.
Not to cut you off, I'm trying to stay sexy. Go ahead.
You have to try a little harder.
Okay.
But so
Kill him. Kill him. Give me that. No,
No, so I
hater.
so I was on one of them one wheel skateboards. I was probably like 15 IPAs deep watching UFC, and I was like, I'm gonna take this thing around the neighborhood. And I jumped on it, and it died. And when it died, it took a nose plant. Those things go like 15, 18 miles an hour. And I went flying, and I extended my right arm to catch myself, and I fractured my radial head of my forearm. Ooh. And I didn't go to the doctor right away, even though I was jacked up, because I'm a dummy when it comes to stuff like that. I went right away, and then I kind of misread what they told me because it was an emergency room. It was a urgent care. And so I took my cast off after 10 days. I was supposed to go back in after 10 days. Ooh. And so anyways, but long story short, the injury's been messing with me ever since, and I still don't have full range of motion. I ended up having surgery and everything. Still don't have full range of motion in my right arm. So the mobility piece is big, man, because you don't really know what you have until it's gone.
This is true.
And so like even when I see my 9-year-old doing push-ups, I'm like, man, I wish I could do push-ups and get that full range of motion in that right arm right now. And that's with months of physical therapy and everything else. So
yeah. Yeah, you can get it back till you put that time into it. I mean, I'm learning with some of the physical therapy exercises that I have to do with my leg or with my Achilles. Man, I stand next to a table, standing up with my knees bent like this, and then I raise up on my toes and hold for 30 seconds. And then I sit it back down, and then I do it again for 30 seconds. And I do that for an hour. Right.
Yeah, that's
I mean, my feet and both legs are just burning. But I've been doing it now for about a week and a half, and I'm just starting to realize the if you're patient, you can build strength in places that you never ever thought that you could be strong.
Oh, man.
I mean, I'm hooking up my right leg now by doing this. Like open. I mean, my toes and feet and everything is getting stronger. So I mean, that was a hole in my fitness that possibly could have caused the injury. I mean, I had full range of motion of the ankle, but there could have been some strength holes, right?
So,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say what's crazy when you talk about mobility is before my second kidney transplant, I'm moving around, I'm exercising. So my goal was to get out of the hospital faster than I did the first transplant. So I started doing sit-ups, push-ups, riding a bike because they cut you in your stomach, and that's where they put the kidney. And so I'm working all those muscles, all the abs. And so when I get out of surgery, I can't move my right leg. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong. Long story short, I had a blood clot on the leg. I had to go back in a couple of days later and remove it. Now I can move my right leg. But going in, my mindset was I'm about to beat this. But without I had no control over was what they did, So after that, that's when you came over a couple years after. I said, okay, I got to get back into shape. And so I called you. You came over, worked out. Me and Amy, she's like, he's trying to kill us.
Yeah.
She's trying. He's trying to.
Amy's voice too. He's trying to kill us.
He's trying to.
Amy's like,
kill him. That's what he said when he came to the garage. Kill them. So after you worked this out, I said, okay, I got to get back to how I grew up, lifting weights, playing basketball, moving around. And so then I challenged myself to do no weights, all calisthenics, which turned into 5 years, no weights. And that time I'm doing planks, I'm doing jumping jacks, pull-ups, sit-ups, lunges, just all types of things without any weight, all body weight. And I know for you, it works for me too. When I see you doing something, it's like I gotta go. Chuck is going. And you say the same thing for me. And when you surround yourself around people that are going and you get motivated by, I think that's the easiest way for you to stay in shape.
See, what I figured out is the easiest way to hire a personal trainer is just friend them up and then work out with them. That way you don't got to pay them.
Oh, we pay.
Yeah,
you're like, hey, Chuck, you want to grab a workout, man? You just watch him do what he does.
It might have been a barter system, but we pay.
Yeah, you're going to pay. One way. What did Michael Jordan say?
Hey,
Michael Jordan said you could pay now with hard work and sweat, or you can pay later with pills and doctor's visits, but everybody pays.
Yeah. Everybody pays.
Everybody pays.
But you had a big part of me being how I am now. So just by you coming over and putting us through different movements, it just kind of led me to believe like, okay, I can do this. I can get back, and took it as a personal challenge, and that's why I'm studying going today. Just want to give you your flowers for that now.
Okay, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, you was easy though. I mean, you had done it before you got sick.
Well, yeah, but so, it's still a mental thing.
Yeah.
It's all muscle memory, but it's all you got to get up and do it.
Yeah.
You can think about doing it and not do it, but once you get out there and do it, that's something different.
Yeah. Well, real quick, you also inspired me, man, because when I seen you in that hospital bed, man, I don't know if I could. I'm very driven, right? And whenever I've had an injury like this one, and before this, I don't know if you remember, but I messed up my back, man.
When we trained for the Murph.
Yeah, that's right. I did it during that.
Yeah,
that's
we
right.
trained for the Murph.
That's right. We did the Murph one year.
Yeah.
And it was free, sort of. So what the Murph is it's a mile run. It's 100 push-up or 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then a mile run. Yep. Right? And we had been training for it. And it was me, Rob, and another one of my clients, Lee. Now, I got 3 weight vests, right? One is 40 pounds, one is 20 pounds, and the other is, I think, 20 pounds too. I'm the trainer. So guess which one I got? The 40-pounder, right? And so I did that run with that 40-pound weight vest, did the whole thing. I think I may have took it off for the pull-ups or something. I don't know.
You ran a mile in it.
But I ran 2 miles in it and messed up. That was the start of messing up my back.
Yeah.
But and that is all because of, again, in great shape, but there was some asymmetries that I was trying to take shortcuts on, right? And I found out the hard way. Don't ever try to build fitness on top of dysfunction because it will not end well.
So Movement Labs is a personal training company, but you said there's a few other things involved with it. So what else is there?
Right. So with Movement Lab, I do one-on-ones. I turn my garage into a studio, put a heater out there, insulated it and everything. This was all during COVID. And so I do one-on-ones there. I got a couple of small groups up to about 3 people that I train there. But I also do some remote training. So I use Zoom. I also use an app called Train Heroic where I do some programming for people, right? So I don't see them, they don't see me, but I sell them programming. Mm-hmm. So that's what Movement Lab does. Now, I also have another company with a partner of mine or partner/client who is a dental surgeon. Her name is Dr. Julie Chavez, and we formed a company called Sustainable Surgeon Project. And what we do is we go around and we talk to surgeons about putting their bodies in these positions for extended periods of time. Your body is constantly trying to adapt to the position that you spend the most time in because of efficiency reasons, right? So let me see if I can, say for instance, you're sitting at a desk, reaching for a keyboard and looking at your screen, okay? The muscles on my neck, we'll call them cervical extenders, are reaching up and they're grabbing onto my head, each side, and they're pulling back because my head's forward, right? So they're pulling back, trying to keep it steady. After a while, your body starts to say, we're using too much energy holding this head up. So why don't we just take these muscles and make them stiffer or make them shorter or both, right? So then that process starts to happen. The more time you spend in that situation, the more change happens. So now your body's not using so much chemical energy, it's using more mechanical energy, so to speak. But then when you come out of the position, it's the reason why you're kind of stuck and you need to loosen up, right? Now you do that 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, right? Or 5 days a week. Yeah, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. Eventually, you're not going to be able to turn, right? Or it's going to take the same amount of time, if not more, to reverse that. because if it bleeds, it will reverse. But so we were going in and we talked to surgeons about that because, like I said, these surgeons, they go to school, but before they go to school, they try to deter them from doing it. Like if you got a husband, you got to make sure he's on board, or if you got kids, you got to make sure, right? Because this is all consuming, right? But what they don't tell you is what the job is going to do to your body. And a lot of jobs don't tell people that. And so we saw an opening where we could get in and start talking to some people and create this awareness. And we're trying to build this program and we're trying to get published and do all
I think you could extend that to massage therapists, right?
Oh, you can extend it to anything.
Hairstylists, right? The hands up all the time. Bartenders holding the bottles in front of them.
Any job that you find yourself in a position. I mean, because think about it. If we evolved like thousands of years ago to get across your street, you had to climb over stuff, go under stuff, and right? So all this fitness, all this movement, right? Now all that's gone. Now what's the body got to do? I mean,
what you're saying is that if you flash forward a couple thousand years, we're just all going to be round, is what you're saying. We don't have to do nothing.
If we're alive. If we are alive. I mean,
just round.
But yeah. So that's the other thing we do. Or that's the other thing that I'm involved in is with that Sustainable Surgeon Project. And then what else? That's I think that's about the crux of it. I mean,
sweet, man.
Yeah.
It's still all interesting stuff though, man. It's interesting stuff.
When are you starting the 75 hard?
I'm starting it a week from tomorrow. But I've already kind of started it. I'm practicing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't do 75. I'm a bitch, man.
No. You
gotta do 75 hard. I'm telling you what, man, is you're gonna see. It's impossible not to see, some sort of results from this.
Yeah. Well, so I'm doing it more for the mental aspect of it.
Oh, it'll give you the mental aspect of it,
the
but
discipline.
I'll tell you what, though, man, I did 75 hard, and then I did like 90 soft after that.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I need to get back to. I need to get back on this because I actually on day 76, on one day after I did all this, I went out there and I got a Devani's deep dish pizza, a 6-pack of beer, and some ice cream from Cold Stone to reward myself, and it didn't feel like a reward, man.
I was gonna say,
it didn't feel like a reward.
Oh,
dude, it was a mess. I was like, man, I ain't never doing that again. So if I do 75 hard again, I'm definitely staying on it.
Think about the psychology around that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like we've basically what you're saying is the things that you thought brought you pleasure don't really bring you pleasure.
Correct. Yeah, they don't. That's
right?
the funniest thing.
But a lot of people are stuck in those things.
It is. Every time I've ever not had an alcoholic beverage for a long period of time,
you feel great.
But not only that, but when, say, something comes up, a social situation where somebody puts a drink in front of you, maybe you haven't drank in 90 days or something like that, and you don't really think about it, you take a couple of sips of it, that initial sensation that you get is, man, I don't like this. And for me, at least, that's happened to me every single time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But so it's almost like you train your body to like something that you don't even really like. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then over time, if you can wean yourself off, or you can get away from doing those negative habits, you don't even want to go back to them.
Yeah. And it's like, what forced you to trick yourself into liking it? Is that societal? Because if you show up to a social event and somebody says, "Hey, Cory, get you a drink," no, I'm good. Like they like,
dude, one time
it's quiet. Everybody's like, "Is he okay?" like, because he don't want to drink.
One time, no, dude, I'm not like that. One time I didn't drink for a long period of time, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I joked with you earlier that I'm really in shape for 6 months, and the other 6 months I ain't. I always go through periods every single year where I'm really like, okay, I need to dial in my macros or whatever. And I remember at this point in time, I hadn't drank any beer or wine or anything for, it'd probably been over a month. And I went outside to talk to my neighbor, and he tossed a White Claw or something like that at me. And I remember catching it out of the air, opening it and drinking it without even thinking about it, dude. Like, it didn't even cross my mind. Like, I just broke my streak. You know what I mean? Because it was just automatic.
With a White Claw.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even good.
It wasn't even a real drink. Like,
he clawed it all right.
Yeah. No, I'm okay with that, though. I mean, when I first started my fitness journey, I'd work out for 3 months and feel all
I think
empowered and strong.
we all
and
are
then
like
I would
that, yeah.
I'd take 6 off. But that was part of my journey. Now
Yeah.
you won't catch me taking that kind of time off. But I like what you were saying in terms of revisiting, because there are people that never do that. Right? They go from year to year to year to year, and they never stop their stuff to get a reset. And then, they don't do it.
That's why I did that Murph with you, because I was like, okay, what do I have to lose? It's like I've defied death a couple times, so we got to run a mile. I hate running, but I'm going to run it. We got to do 100 pull-ups. Okay, let's do it. 200 push-ups. Okay, let's do it. 300 squats. Okay, run another mile. And then that whole, 3-4 months we were training for it, it was accountability. We were texting each other. All right, I'm at 100. All right, I'm at 300 push-ups. Okay, I'm at this. I'm doing this. And once we got into the Murph, the day of the Murph, it was like we've been doing it. So once again, stay around those people, watch those people who you can draw strength from, you can draw encouragement and some type of drive from. And I mean, that's I think 75% of the battle. Or unless, the other 25 is mental, but it might be more the opposite way, because a lot of that mental part, like you said, Cory, that's heavy. It's heavy on a lot.
Well, I recommend you guys go out and get the book, man. Go out and get the book, Andy Frisella, 75 Hard. Chapter 11 is called Bitch Voice versus the Boss. It's Bitch versus Boss is the name of the chapter. It's about your bitch voice versus your boss voice.
Okay.
So every time you have to make one of them decisions, and believe me, man, I actually did this. They'd be like, you're at a work meeting or something, someone slides that donut in front of you. I'm like, am I going to listen to my bitch voice or am I listening to my boss voice? You know what I mean? And yeah, man, it's definitely a good program, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to put it. I mean, the other way is, who are you? Are you the type of person that says you're going to do something and you follow through?
I mean, bitch and boss for me work a little bit better.
He said I'm both. I like it. I like the happy medium.
So I don't know. I'm doing it, and I'm doing it as a way to like bring my clients along. I got a couple clients that said they're going to do it with me, and I'm just going to, create a bunch of content around it and do. I mean, I'm in the industry. I should have already done this.
Well, let's see if you're in the 18% of people that can do it, man.
Yeah.
What did you do for a year straight?
Oh, I did burpees.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
How many burpees was
I did 50 burpees a day.
For a year straight.
For a year straight. Every day. Put it on social media.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That.
See, that's the thing. If you commit to doing this on social media, you'll do it for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that right there, that little challenge right there taught me a lot about who I am. Taught me a little bit about procrastination, and taught me a lot about just who I was. And that's why I want to do this one. David Goggins has one called 4-4-48. And I want to do that one too. Have you heard of this one?
I haven't heard of this one, but I know if it's Goggins, I know it's going to be real intense.
Yeah, what is this one?
4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So 12 runs, right?
You were a runner.
Yeah, every 4 hours, right? So 4 miles. So how long would it take you to do 4 miles?
Shoot, it took me.
You better hope not 4 hours, because you got to do it again at the.
Shoot, Phelan's 3.5 miles. That's about 40 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, a lot shorter, but a lot more intense in the logistics piece,
do it
right?
Again and again and
So
again.
you need to have the food ready.
Yeah.
You mean, because every time you're not running, you're gonna want to be either showering or napping.
Well, dude, you just introduced that to me, so now I have something to look forward to and try.
Yeah,
because you can do that one inside of this one. Really, I mean, that one is.
Well, I'm gonna try to. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that one in the spring.
Okay, yeah.
Like, so, yeah, keep it on your rate. Right after Murph, you should do Murph with us.
Maybe I will, man.
Okay.
Maybe I will.
He's like, man, who
take a challenge? Never back down to a challenge.
These guys over here.
You're like, Cory, you're like, listen to your boss voice, man. Don't listen to your bitch voice.
Rob, that was a setup. Well, we appreciate you coming on, Chuck.
Yeah.
It's been very entertaining. I'm glad that I got a chance to link you and Cory up.
Yeah.
How can the people find you?
I'm on all the socials. So on Facebook, I'm just Charles Turner on Facebook. Yeah. And I do have a Movement Lab page, but for whatever reason, I just put everything on my regular page.
Yeah.
I used to kind of separate it out, but I'm like, this is me. This is my life. I mean, I don't need to separate
I'm with you
those
on that.
things out.
Just, I put it on everything. Just
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram as I am Coach, or I am Chuck Turner Training. I am on the TikTok, which I'm blowing up on TikTok.
Are you?
Yeah. I don't know why.
How long you been on there?
Probably about 7 months.
Okay.
But I didn't bring any of my current friends. I just went on there, created my page. And so all my friends now on there are, well, some of them are friends off of Facebook, but they found me. I didn't
Yeah.
So,
So what's your TikTok handle?
what is my TikTok handle? Coach Chuck Training.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll give you guys
The links.
to,
Okay.
to my link tree or whatever, or just all of them.
Yeah.
I am Coach Chuck, or I am Chuck Turner Training on YouTube. I got a really big YouTube page with a lot of free information on there, a lot of free movements. And then you can find me at what is that? Go Solo Sub Kit. That's where I host my Breakfast Club body weight thing that I do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning at 5 a.m. It's only, can you say prices and stuff like that?
Go ahead, man.
Oh, it's only $20 a month, and you get 3 live classes a week, 12 live classes a month. And if you do not like 5 a.m., you can watch it on demand. So
That's what's up.
yeah, master that body weight before you start throwing around that external weight. So I like your whole year or 5 years of doing that.
Oh yeah.
Good for your joints.
Yeah. That was. I didn't even notice that it was 5 years. I just kept going and looked up, and it was another year and another year. So, but it happened like that, and like I said, you jump started it. So
Yeah.
make sure you like, subscribe for more information. Follow us on what we got? Instagram, right? The Rob and Cory Show. We got so many handles. So
Yeah, the Rob and Cory Show on
the
Instagram.
Rob and Cory. I'm Rob, and he's Cory. And thanks for coming along, Chuck Turner.
Thanks for having me.
We're out of here. Peace.
Watch me educate. Yeah, we been could've started, but it's never late. Do it for my kids, yeah, let's set it straight. Do it for your kids, gotta set it straight. It's time to regulate.